Yeah, there we
and
go.
we're live. We are on Damen Avenue. That right there, that's Midwave. And are you wearing a uniform? Are you both wearing black jerseys?
Yeah, that kind of happened on accident, didn't it?
Yeah.
We're both wearing baseball shirts.
We kind of run into that
It is
all the
summer.
time.
Yeah.
It seems appropriate.
Yeah.
All right, so it's Midwave. We're outside Budacki's on Damen. This is Car Con Carne. We are in my Mazda 3. This whole show is presented by our friends at Boost Mobile. Gentlemen, what do you think of this phone? It's a handsome phone, right?
It's a beautiful phone.
And it's moving quickly. It's on the super fast Boost Mobile network.
That's a Boost Mobile?
That's what I'm saying.
That's why it's good.
Yeah.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
So here we are. It's Midwave. Welcome to Car Con Carne. We've got a bag of hot dogs. Didn't mean to obscure your face for the Facebook Live. We've got a bag of hot dogs, and by God, we're going to eat them. Before we begin, see, it's a delicate balance getting everything in order here in the Mazda 3.
Of food in the right spot.
But you got to admit, the Mazda 3 accommodates live interviews very well.
Nice and airy. You've got all the mics.
Got the
everything.
moonroof for lighting here. It's stunning. I should show as visual aids the latest one for Midwave right here.
That one's guest service.
Guest service. And we're going back a little bit. Midwave. Midwave, if you like these guys, they're not playing in the car. We're going to talk about their music, so it's kind of a conceptual thing. As we discuss the music, I want you to imagine what it sounds like. You can see them. They are playing Cubby at the end of the month. They're playing on Thursday the 30th. This is it. This is the Chicago finals for Next to Rock. 5 Chicago bands made it to the final round in Chicago. This is a national competition. Huge name judges are involved with this. Jonathan Davis of Korn at the national final level. Chris Jericho of Fozzy and Chris Jericho fame, pro wrestling. But locally, the 5 finalists, I wrote it down, even though I know all the bands, when I'm on camera, on mic, I know I'm going to mess this up. It is Midwave.
Hello.
Take the Reins, a previous guest on Car Con Carne. Like Language, previous guest on Car Con Carne. The 2 members of Like Language, by the way, now married. So, your move, Midwave. The Giving Moon, also on the bill, and Friday Pilots Club. 5 bands, a bargain at any price, and one of those bands will be named the Chicago winner of Next to Rock. It's all presented by my friends at 101 WKQX, where I work. All right, so, Midwave, before we talk about your band, we have hot dogs.
We do, yeah.
Sitting on the dash, and it seems cruel to just tantalize ourselves with them.
I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm. All right. The hazards of dragging food across the dash. There go the wipers.
Smear the box. That's all you got to do.
Did I mention that you're Kyle and Aaron? Did I say that out
Brandon.
loud? Brandon?
Brandon, yep, that's me. I could be Aaron.
I'm terrible.
You're Aaron for tonight. He's just Aaron, yeah.
I'm Aaron.
Kyle and Brandon are here. It is Midwave. And I'm going to start distributing hot dogs.
Thank you.
See, this is going to drive me crazy for the rest of the interview. I'm going to obsess about this.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, we've let these sit long enough that the bags are actually tearing through.
Nice, yeah. It's like that the Simpsons one where it's so clear that the bird flies through. It's transparent bags.
Budacki's has been here forever. I used to live not far from here in Ravenswood, and they asked what we wanted on our hot dogs. The simple answer is
Everything.
everything.
Yeah, which does not come with ketchup.
No, here's the thing. I don't need ketchup on my hot dog. I just don't do it. I'm not one of those guys who's militantly angry at people who do.
Okay.
I'm not one of those people who's going to drag someone out of Byron's down the street by their collar and berate them for using socially unacceptable condiments. Whatever. I have kids. They put ketchup on hot dogs.
There you go.
Not going to berate them. There are other things to be upset with them about. Not picking up after themselves. That's one of those things. All right. So here we go. This is the Budacki's hot dog.
Yeah, I've never been here either, so I'm excited for
Are you guys north side, south side?
We are right outside of the city in northwest suburbs, actually.
Because you flew here.
Yeah, we I don't know if we flew, right?
Well,
It
you were
was,
super early. You beat me here, and you were like 20 minutes early, which is not rock and roll.
No, I think we were like worried about being late because we're perpetually late.
Yeah.
I'll be late to my own funeral for sure.
And it should be mentioned, this was a last-minute booking. I had a guest cancel. If you're looking for Ashley Piper, she'll be on the show at some point. But I thought, I want to get another band on the show. I wanted to get you guys. I want to get all the bands who are doing the Next to Rock Championship or finals. You did it like drop of a hat. You said sure.
Well, I appreciate
So thank you for the last-minute
Of course.
turnaround on this.
We're happy to be here.
Not only did you agree to it, you're early. Amazing. So the band Midwave, I don't think I'm wrong in saying you're almost defiantly unwilling to be categorized with the music you create.
That's my number one problem whenever we have like a form to fill out or we have to talk about ourselves to someone else and it's like, what kind of style of music are you? And so I always just default to pop rock.
Okay.
Because I think of like Tower Records, way back in the day, Tower Records, where every band that was vaguely pop or vaguely rock would all be in the pop rock section. And that's the easiest way for me to describe it.
Well said. But I mean, there are horns. There's cool electronics and guitars and instrumentation and guest female vocals, and you do all this neat stuff.
Yeah, and the most recent album kind of explored some new sounds that we didn't have on the first one. And it was kind of like an interim record a little bit where you got to play around with like some extra different things like the horns, the violins. There's some woodwinds on one of the songs. I know it makes it sound to someone who doesn't know us like I'm describing like Mr. Bungle or something, but it's not quite like that.
If you like Mr. Bungle, you're going to love Midwave.
Yeah, you might be in for a slight rude surprise.
But I love it. And you know, some of the songs we're talking about, Something's Got to Give, a song as heard on the radio. And Demo 312, that opens with the horns. That just presents, that announces yourself as something different from the rest of the pack.
Which, thank you once again, by the way, for jamming that song, because that was all.
Yeah, I don't play
amazing.
songs. I don't play songs. I jam them.
You jammed them, exactly.
You're damn right.
Live.
Thinking Out Loud from the album. That one's been kicking around for a while with you guys. You weren't going to let that one just sit in the past. You wanted to bring it to the future.
So you did some homework.
Dude, don't you know who I am?
I do.
He's the one click we get on our music.
It's me.
Yeah, so Thinking Out Loud was actually, that song is even older than you would think. That song's been kicking around as a demo session since I think around 2008, maybe end of 2007, somewhere around there. Went through a bunch of different iterations, used it for a few different purposes too. And then when the Pink record guest service was coming about, I had already worked with this girl, Mina Tobias, who is the daughter of this actress, Mädchen Amik, from Twin Peaks.
Oh, okay, right on.
Riverdale, I think, a couple other things. I had linked up with her via the internet because she's out in L.A., and kind of approached her with the song and was like, you want to sing on this?
Wait, just cold? You didn't have a connection at all?
I had seen...
That's ballsy.
Well, I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan, so I followed like a bunch of different Twin Peaks websites and stuff like that, and had accidentally just through, a click hole, coming across tangentially, oh, this is related to one of the people who was on there, and I found her SoundCloud. Listened to it, and I loved her voice, and was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to email her. And I ended up
That's
working
not how
out.
that's supposed to work.
That is how majority of any of the connections or success we've had has been just like cold call. Hey, I hope you don't delete this right away, but I just want to introduce and, so.
I find this very interesting. I had a band in my car a couple weeks ago, a band called Parker. They're from the Hegwish area. They're the pride of Hegwish, in fact.
Okay.
And Parker was telling me how they do the same thing. They hooked up with Adam Cryer of AM Taxi and Lucky Boys Confusion the same way. Just messaged him cold, out of the blue. Next thing you know, he's working on the album with them.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling a trend.
That is how the Yellow album came to be, because that we owe a huge amount of what we had done to Dan Konopka, who's the drummer of OK Go.
I was going to ask what that connection was.
Well, Dan plays on one of those songs. He produced several of the songs, mastered the whole album, and then we ended up having a big connection with him that I still do. I still talk to him, just going back and forth. he remixed one of our songs. He and I remixed an OK Go song for their most recent one. The whole connection, it started, actually, I was at I was going to call it Dubby Door. Double door.
At the Dubby Door.
Yeah, at the Dubby Door. The old dub door. And I saw one of Tim, the bass player of that band, had a side band called Pyramids. I was talking to him at like their merch table or something because I had the record, and the last remix I thought was super cool, and it was DMK remix, so I had no idea who it was. And it turns out that was Dan. So it was the same thing. I cold emailed him and was like, hey, I love your guys' music. I love what you did with that remix. I would love to do something, anything. And that's how the relationship started.
I love that. These hot dogs are really good.
Yeah, they are.
Eat
I know.
your hot dog.
I'm taking little bites here.
You doing okay back there?
I'm doing great.
All right. I want to say hi to Chef Ben Randall, who's watching, also Tyler Wildy. If you guys are ever in the McHenry area, Tyler owns a place called Epic Deli.
Oh.
Ridiculous. You know Epic Deli?
I know Epic Deli very well.
In fact, if you're planning to go there next month, stop eating now. Save room. I want to say hi to Richie, who's watching, Deborah Lynn, who's watching, and Mark. Thank you all for watching. This whole thing will be an audio podcast, very beautifully mixed and normalized and presented in a stunning oral display on carconcarne.com.
Crinkles and everything.
I've said it before, there is nothing more attractive than listening to adults chew on a microphone.
It's delicious sounding.
Penny says, looking good, guys, and she's clearly referring to...
Yeah, that's my ma.
Is it really?
Hi, ma.
It's a little embarrassing. Mom, told you never to Facebook Live me here.
No, she's come a long way on Facebook. She's doing great.
You've helped shepherd her along the way?
No, she ghosted me on Facebook. My ma ghosted me.
How does that happen?
Did she really?
Yeah, she had a Facebook account for like a while, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm on there." I was like, "What? You didn't add me?"
Mom, stop ghosting me.
My mom's a savage.
Ashley says, handsome men. Again, referring to you. Although we are all bearded.
We are all
We do have, between the three of us, there is so much ruggedness going on right now. It's almost uncomfortable.
There's so much hair. There's so much room for mustard to catch in.
There is.
Yeah.
Ben Randall wants to know where we're eating tonight. It's Budacki's on Damen, right off. We are south of Lawrence Avenue. Which, by the way, that whole strip on Lawrence Avenue, I don't know how often you come this way. I used to live, like I said, not far from here.
Yeah.
That whole strip was kind of just awful, and there was no reason to go there. Dante's Pizza just opened up over there. I love Dante's Pizza. So you know the neighborhood's in transition.
Yeah.
BYOB for now. I walked by the door. All right, so I'm here with Midwave, who are gloriously eating. Cubby Bear is where you can see them at the end of the month. With me, I'm on stage. I'll be introducing all 5 of you bands. And I'm not taking sides. I have no partiality. You're here now, but I am neutral. I made a point with the radio station. I said I will not be a judge. In fact, I will not judge battles of the bands ever. Mm-hmm. I never want...
Have you ever done it?
Once or twice years ago when I started doing local music shows.
Okay.
And I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate the responsibility, and I hate... Especially, I want to be ingrained with local bands. I don't want to be someone who pits them against one another or who, shows signs of favoritism.
Yeah.
So for something like this, I am totally cool being the neutral host.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the guy who cheerfully gets to bring on these 5 bands and celebrate all 5.
You get to be the impartial MC.
Oh, yeah, which is what I think my role should be.
Yeah.
If I were to define my role.
Okay.
Tell me about the Synth Batman album.
The Synth Batman album.
Here's why I ask. You did a song called Ace the Bat Hound, which struck a nerve with me. 2 dogs ago, my dog's name was Crypto, named after Superman's dog from the planet Krypton.
Sure.
So, in naming Crypto, I considered other superhero dog names, including Ace.
No way.
Yeah.
No one ever knows Ace.
Ace the Bat Hound.
Yeah.
I went through other ideas like Comet, who was the super horse, Streaky, the super cat. I went through this whole thing in my head.
Oh, so you're nice and nerdy too.
Oh my God.
Okay, good.
Parker is watching. Parker the band, who I just referenced.
Oh yeah.
See? And every time I say Parker, I want to say it like J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man. Parker!
So Ace the Bat Hound.
That's a weird compilation that's floating out there on the internet.
It is a very weird compilation. We contributed to 2 different compilations that I believe were on the same record label. It was that one and Bring It Back Again, Twin Peaks compilation one. I'm a diehard Batman fan.
Oh my God! Can you show that since we're on Facebook Live?
I don't know how well this will.
Can you bend your arm in the opposite direction?
Let's see.
All right, so let me describe it. It is Batman with the classic yellow insignia on his chest.
Here, maybe if we kill this one. I don't know how that works.
He's got the 6-pack.
Yeah, there we go. Now you can see a little
Oh,
bit.
that is badass.
Oh, thanks. This is my oldest one.
That had to hurt like hell.
No, not at all. No, the one that I got right here on my collarbone, that hurt the worst.
And what's that?
It's a Zeppelin quote.
What's the quote?
Come with me every day from Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You.
Nice. Now that's old school Zeppelin.
Yeah, definitely. I
From the
grew
very
up on
beginning.
that. Both of us did. Both of our parents are huge.
See, it's long been my belief that the classic rock is a Midwestern rite of passage.
Yeah, I think so.
No matter where you end up musically with your taste, like that whole world, Zeppelin, AC/DC, that's the stuff we were all weaned on, no matter what generation.
Hell, you can buy their T-shirts at like Kohl's and Walmart, and
Dude, Old Navy.
yeah,
It's so
Yeah.
bizarre. You're co-opting someone else's past.
right. I'm waiting for like Gadzooks to start selling it too. You know.
Parker Band says you need the throat. Did I not say that well enough? Parker! Is that better? I'll work on that. All right, so you're nerdy. Do you collect comics?
A little bit.
Do you have a prized possession? Like one that's bagged and boarded and you won't share with your friends?
Not so much when it comes to I'm a disgusting movie collector. Like my DVD and Blu-ray collection is out of control, which my wife can attest to.
It's alphabetical.
It is too.
And
yeah.
from what I've learned, spouses love when their male spouses have big collections. They love
yeah.
that stuff. Oh, yeah. Really
it's
popular.
their favorite.
Especially if you're squeezed for space in the house. That's a
Right.
really popular conversation.
No, I know we've got a huge like movie rack right in the living room, and I know my wife would win the lottery if I ever got it out of there. She'd be so happy. No, I don't have too many comic books. Nothing of like super value. Although my dad had a really heartbreaking story. He had X-Men #1 at one point, and then I think he had thrown it away or something. I'm sorry, Dad, if I'm getting the story wrong.
Well, I mean, back in the day, I mean, even before 1963 when that comic came out, I mean, that was just, comic books weren't collectibles.
No.
They were just like, it's like the newspaper. Throw it in the trash.
It's just a trade.
So, yeah, so that's where, all those old Batman and Superman comic books ended up. They ended up in the trash heap, which is what makes them so collectible now, because none of them should have made it to the present
Right.
day. None of them should have survived.
So our music might end up collectible one day because it always ends up in the trash.
It's collectible right now. Look at these. These are handsome editions here.
We're in the age of physical releases dying, and we're white knuckling it. Like, no, I don't want to give up physical releases. I love liner notes.
Physical Release was the name of my first adult movie. It's on the web. It's a subscription site, but
You got to buy tokens and
right.
donate.
All right. So this right here, this is the latest. This came out how long ago?
In January.
Okay.
I believe the 18th or 12th. It was somewhere right around there.
This is guest service. It is new. It is awesome. And one of the things we said, I realize I'm talking with food in my mouth, which is part of the charm of the podcast,
Yeah.
if we can call it charm. You're
Charm.
really hard to pin down, and I think, it's nice to have an elevator pitch. We are blah blah cross with blah blah. I like that you can't do that with your band.
Well-
And that's what I find so appealing about you guys.
Thank you.
We have friends that have heard our music and know our music for, like a year now, maybe more, and they still ask, like, so what is this?
Yeah, what would you classify it as?
And we never know.
No, we don't.
I was talking with someone else unrelated earlier today about how people in Chicago are so desensitized to everything in their environment. I can't tell you how many people have walked by this car. We've had the lights on, we've got microphones in here. It's a branded vehicle, so you can't miss it from the street. No one has so much as turned their head. I mean, we're right by the Brown line. We're right by the Damen Brown line over here. People are
Yeah.
getting off the train. No one is giving us any mind whatsoever.
Well, that's because like 2 blocks ago, they just saw a guy like taking a dump on the street.
By the time they get to us, it's like good, wholesome,
Right, yeah.
run-of-the-mill entertainment.
Oh, look at the cleavers over here.
Yeah, that's cute. All right, so I should again mention this podcast is brought to you by Boost Mobile. Midwave, just to take us, before we dump out, I should say, take us back to the beginning. You guys started the band, when and why?
Well, he and I have known each other for, God, how long now? Like
17 years or something.
Yeah, at least. We met way back in high school and have been in multiple different bands together. We had an old kind of, I guess, metal-ish band, right? At one point with NZ.
Yeah, it's rite of passage. Especially in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna start a band, you gotta be metal.
Yeah, that was like 2002, 2003.
So were you new metal, given the era?
Ish, I guess.
Little growly, little Cookie Monster?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little of that. We had some clean stuff in there too, and then it was a high school, 2002, 2003 kind of thing.
Have you since burned all the demos or tapes of yourself?
Oh no, it's
Opposite.
shamelessly still up online, and in fact, like I found old 4-track recordings from like the year 2000 that
Yes,
I
you
made in
did.
my bedroom, and I digitized them and put them up. 'Cause
Good.
It's like, why be scared of it?
That's part of who you are. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
They're horrible. Don't look them up. They're horrible, but they're there.
We almost got hit. That was cool. Wow. All right, so you've known each other forever. You're in bands together, and here you are today.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do that for a friend.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Ignore me.
Done. I'm kidding.
We started Midwave. The first thing we had done as Midwave was actually a remix. Even though we didn't start this like with the intent of being a remix band or like remix artists. And the way we always approached remixes was to take only the vocals, like strip all the music away, take the vocals, and then write a brand new live band song underneath it.
I like that approach.
Yeah, just because it was different, and
Yeah.
like instead of just throwing it into, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but we just wanted to, you could put a club beat on top of it and then call it a day.
Yeah, but I like the artistic challenge. I think that approach gives you.
I always liked groups like there's this guy RAC. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He did kind of similar things where he would like take a band's material, just ditch everything but the acapellas, and then write a brand new song underneath it. And I thought that was fun, like,
Yeah.
because it's less of a remix and more like, what would I do with this song if we got to produce this kind of thing. So that was the first thing that we did, and that was for that Pyramids, which was
Right.
the OK Go side band.
For all of them too, he wouldn't even show me the original song because I don't.
You don't want that in your head.
We both listen to very different music, I think, in our own time.
Definitely.
So a lot of the stuff that he ends up like coming across, I would have no idea what it sounded like. So when we were doing those remixes, he was just like, "Here's the vocals. Like, what do you think should be here?" So it was actually, I don't know, it was like drawn on paper, but with music.
I'll say hi to Don, who's watching. This is Midwave. Love this band. Take a shot on these guys and the 4 other bands who are competing at Cubby Bear at the end of the month. One thing I keep coming back to when it comes to talking about local music or even independent music with other people, it can seem overwhelming. Like, I don't know where to begin. I don't know what I like. I don't even want to, start going to clubs at 11 o'clock at night on a Wednesday hoping I
Right.
find gold. I'm telling you, here's a great entry point to the Chicago music scene. These 5 bands, they're awesome. They're all at a solid level, songwriting, performance. Midwave is awesome. See them at Cubby Bear. There's more information on the radio station website, 101WKQX.com. Right there on the front page, click on Next to Rock. Thank you guys for doing this last minute.
Thank you so much for having us on. I really appreciate it.
I'm ready for a few more hot dogs. Which,
Yeah, right.
The first hot dog is always like it's like a starter hot dog.
It gets
It's
you
a
going.
tease.
Yeah.
Dip your toes in.
Exactly. It's a fine entry point. But thank you for eating hot dogs. Thank you for doing this. I want to thank you for watching on Facebook Live. Thank you for listening. And thanks to Boost Mobile for sponsoring this whole darn thing. Midwave, everybody.
Thanks for having us.